Hello, and welcome to Miss Hope's Reading Hour on this fabulous FRI-YAY. It is Friday, no school for the weekend. Get to rest and relax, and hang out, and do whatever it is that you want to do. Happy Friday, my friends. Welcome to Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Hopefully your Friday was good so far. As you all always know, on Fridays here in Philly, we have half day of school, okay? Half day of school for the students, but us employees still got training and stuff, but it's not that bad, okay? Good thing to have a half day all the time. Usually in my class, one of the first things they ask on Friday is, do we have a half day today, or do we get out early today? So I've come to expect it. But happy Friday to you all, my friends. Hopefully your day has been great. Hopefully you had a thankful Thursday, okay? And that you found something to be thankful for. One thing that I am thankful for is being almost done all of my assignments for my class. Yay! That's my yay for Fabulous Friday. I am almost done my assignments for my class. My class will be done on Sunday, and I will be done prayerfully before Sunday. But thank you all so much for your encouragement in me with my schooling as I try to encourage you in your learning, okay? Now, today, we have some interesting books. If you saw the teaser, because of course, you know Miss Hope's Reading Hour is on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Periscope. So any of those platforms, please come join us for Miss Hope's Reading Hour, where we get to read a lot of great books and hang out, okay? Now, if you saw the teaser, you know today, if you can listen to the music and catch what the song is, we are talking about a farm animal. And the teaser, which one was it? It was the cow. We got some cow stories. What cows can and can't do. Okay, so we're going to delve into what's going on with the cows. Okay, but before we do that, this great music that you will hear and the books, that we will be reading today. Got to give you the disclaimer every time. Miss Hope and Miss Hope's Reading Hour do not own the rights or copyright to any of it. But it is here for your listening and reading enjoyment. That's what it's here for. We are here for you, okay? So, before we get to the books as well, we still need more books. I have my books in the shopping cart because, as I told you before, Miss Hope has been doing a lot of reading and a lot of homework. So I still have to press that send, that order button to have those books coming to me for next month. Because of course, you know, the next Marvelous Monday, it will be the 1st of February. Okay. So I need some fresh new books. And there is something else fresh and new that will be happening, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you see it when you come back on Marvelous Monday, okay? So, the ways that you can donate to Miss Hope's Reading Hour are, where am I going? I'm going right down here in the ticker, right down here, okay? So, in the ticker where it says donate via Cash App, and the Cash App handle is HopeGM, HOPEGM, all one word, all lowercase, and that is how you can donate any amount to the Miss Hope's Reading Hour Library. Also, the other way that you can donate is on our email address, by our email address. You can send digital gift cards that way. And you can email us at misshopesrh@gmail.com. It's right down there in the ticker. It's passing by. Okay, you can send digital gift cards that way, or if you want to send me books for the Miss Hope's Reading Hour Library, like so many of our friends have done before. I've had friends who have dropped books off right in front of my door, okay? So please give me an email, all right, so that we can work out how you can send me those books for the Miss Hope's Reading Hour Library for everyone to enjoy. Okay? Now, without further ado, let us get to what we're here for, the books. Okay? So our first book is called Cows Can't Quack. I think we knew that. What? Let's see what's going to happen in this book. So, this book is by Dave Reisman. Listen, last names, y'all know Miss Hope. I don't want to mess up anybody's name. Don't want to. And the illustrations are by Jason A. Maas. Cows can't quack. Can they? Who knows? When we're not around, what they do. I don't know. Okay. So, cows can't quack. All right. And our other book about our cow friends is called Kiss the Cow. Look at that. This book is by Phyllis Root, illustrated by Will Hillenbrand. Okay. I got it. I did. I got it. This book is illustrated by Will Hillenbrand, written by Phyllis Root. And this is a candle wick book. We'll find out who Cows Can't Quack is illustrated by when we start reading. And of course, because there were some developments, friends. There was some developments the last time we read, okay? So, we still got to figure out who stole New Year's Eve, okay? You know, at the beginning, I always want to tell y'all, right, what happened in the last couple chapters that we've read, but I'll wait to get to it when we get to our chapter book, okay? This book is by Martha Freeman, another good chapter book author, okay? So, my friends, let's get into how cows can't quack. Gotta bend it back a little bit. Sometimes with a newer book, it's a little hard to open. And we're here for the reading, but we're here for the pictures too, right? So we gotta be able to see the pictures. All right, so this book is a Jumping Cow Press book. Get out of town. Jumping Cow Press. All right. As we said, cows can't quack. But they can moo. Moose can't moo. What do? But they can grunt. Goats can't grunt. Now, what do goats do? What sound do they make? But they can bleat. Monkeys can't bleat. What can they do? But they can chatter. Kittens can't chatter. Now, we all know what kittens do. What can kittens do? But they can meow. Roosters cannot meow. But what can they do? But they can cock-a-doodle-doo. Crows can't cock-a-doodle-doo. I never heard a crow before. What do they do? Oh, but they can caw. Donkeys cannot caw. They can't. What can they do? What do you think a donkey does? Oh, but they can hee-haw. Frogs cannot hee-haw. What do they do? Oh, but they can croak. Hippos, they can't croak. Okay? I don't ever think I've seen a hippo make a sound. What do they make? Oh, but they can bray. Huh. Is it kind of like how a horse brays? I don't know. Dolphins, unfortunately, can't bray. Okay? Now, what do they do? Ah, but they can click. Rabbits, they can't click. What do they do? I've held a rabbit. I don't know that they make a noise. They can coo. Oh, I gotta check that out. I don't think I've ever heard a sound from a rabbit. Rhinos, unfortunately, they cannot coo. Let's find out what they do. Huh, but they can snort. Oh, and when they snort, they might be mad. Now, wolves, they can't snort. And that one looks kind of scared. I guess so, with a rhino snorting right behind him. But wolves, they can howl. Now, ducks, they can't howl. Geese, I'm sorry. They can't howl. Now, I've heard geese been chased by one before too. But they can cackle. And they definitely do it when they're chasing you. Okay. Now, whales, they can't cackle. But let's see what they can do. Oh, but they can sing. But penguins, they can't sing. But they can trumpet. Now, hyenas, they can't trumpet. Now, I've heard the sound of hyenas, but they can laugh. The sound that they make, it does sound like they're laughing. Now, eagles, they can't laugh. I think they're much too serious an animal to be laughing. They always look really serious. But they can scream. But tigers, they can't scream. What can tigers do? Tigers can roar. roar. But puppies, they can't roar. But they can snore. They're babies. They're gonna sleep a lot. The end. That is the end of that. So we found out that cows can moo, right? They can't quack. They can moo. Found out a lot of things about what animals can and can't do. Some of them were surprising. Some of them were animals that I was like, I've never heard the sound that they make. Like rabbits. I have held a rabbit before. Now, we all know Miss Hope is not down with the rodent friends, okay? And a rabbit is kind of rodent-y, okay? Now, just as long as the rabbit isn't like the really big ones with the really floppy ears, I can't do those, okay? But a regular sized rabbit, usually if it's like, it can be white. I don't want it to be gray because it reminds me too much of a mouse. But if it's a nice little size, has cute little nice pink nose, I can get down with petting the rabbit. But I never heard him make a sound, so it was interesting to find out that they actually make one, except for like with their teeth. Very good book. Hopefully you all liked it. Now, let's find out about this Kiss the Cow. What's that about? By Phyllis Root, illustrated by Will Hillenbrand. I got it. And it is a candle wick book. Kiss the Cow. Mama May lived where the earth met the sky, and her house was as wide as the prairie. It needed to be. Mama May had so many children she couldn't count them all. Among Mama May's children was one called Annalisa. She wasn't the youngest, and she wasn't the oldest, but she was the most curious and the most stubborn. Every day, Annalisa followed Mama May as she carried her two shiny pails to the pasture where she kept Luella, her magic cow with the beautiful brown eyes and bright, curvy horns. Every day, Annalisa heard Mama May sing to Luella, "Lovely Luella, your milk never fails. My children are hungry, so please fill my pails." I mean, I guess that would be nice for the cow, especially if you're about to be milking me, you know what I mean? Every day, Annalisa saw Luella's warm, sweet milk flow into the shiny pails, until Mama May sang, "Thank you, Luella, my children shall eat. Cheese fresh and yellow, milk warm and sweet." And every day, Annalisa saw Mama May kiss Luella right on the end of her velvety brown nose. "Ugh," said Annalisa. "Imagine kissing a cow." Every day, Mama May carried her pails of milk home to feed her children, her hungry children. One pail of milk they drank for breakfast. The other pail of milk Mama May heated and salted and pressed into cheese for the children's supper. Cheese so fresh it squeaked in between their teeth. I like cheese. I've never made fresh cheese. Be something interesting to try. Every day, Annalisa wondered, what would it be like to milk a magic cow? The more she wondered, the more curious she grew. And the more curious she grew, the more Annalisa just had to know. Finally, one day she said, I want to milk Luella. Never you mind about milking Luella, said Mama May. If you upset her, she'll never give milk. And then what would we do? But Annalisa had made up her mind. She took a pail from the sandbox and sneaked off alone to the pasture. Uh-oh. Come on now, Annalisa. Just like Mama May, Annalisa sang, Lovely Luella, your milk never fails. My children are hungry, so please fill my pails. Luella's milk flowed into Annalisa's little pail until she sang, Thank you, Luella, my children shall eat. Cheese fresh and yellow, milk warm and sweet. Now this wasn't exactly true, of course. But magic words are magic words, and true or not, they worked. But did Annalisa kiss Luella right on the end of her soft, silky nose? She did not. Oh, Annalisa. And the next day, Luella would not give any milk at all, no matter how many times Mama May sang her magic song. It didn't take Mama May long to figure out what had happened. Annalisa, she cried, have you been bothering Luella? All I did was milk her with my little pail, said Annalisa. And did you remember to kiss the cow? Asked Mama May. Me? Kiss a slobbery, bristly cow? Cried Annalisa. You must kiss the cow to make sure she gives milk again, said Mama May. Never, cried Annalisa. And she wouldn't. Oh boy. Annalisa. That day, the children ate scraps of bread without milk for breakfast. Now will you kiss the cow? Asked Mama May. Never, said Annalisa. No kiss, no milk. That night, the children ate crusts of bread without cheese for supper. Now will you kiss the cow? Asked Mama May. Never, said Annalisa. No kiss, no milk, no cheese. The next day, Mama May's house was full of hungry, crying children. Oh no. No milk, especially no cheese? Annalisa. The hungry children crowded around Annalisa. There were so many children, they crowded her right out of the house and up the hill to the pasture. Milk, they begged. Cheese, they pleaded. Now will you kiss the cow? Asked Mama May. Never, said Annalisa. Never, never, never. Moo, said Luella, putting her nose in Annalisa's face. Ugh, said Annalisa. Oh, come on, Annalisa. Cows need love. But then she looked into Luella's beautiful brown eyes and wondered, what would it be like to kiss a cow? The more she wondered, the more curious she grew. The more curious she grew, the more Annalisa just had to know. There was only one way to find out. Please kiss the cow, said Mama May. Said Annalisa. Oh, look at Luella. She's so sad. But she scrunched up her eyes, bunched up her face, and kissed Luella. Luella smelled of fresh hay and sunshine and clover. Her nose felt silky and warm and dry. Mama May sang her magic song. Luella's milk began to flow. The children cheered, and Annalisa felt so fine. I wonder what she did. And look at how happy Luella is. And Annalisa felt so fine. She kissed the cow again. The end. See, Annalisa, it wasn't so bad. And Luella looks like a very sweet cow. And Annalisa, had you not went and messed with the cow like Mama May said, you wouldn't have had to go a day without milk and cheese. She said, never you mind milking the cow, Annalisa. If you upset her, the milk will not flow. So, listen, very good lesson in this story. You can say some sweet words, but if you upset someone, don't think that, they're going to be happy just because you said some little flowery words. Don't do something to upset someone or hurt their feelings. Just because you say, oh, your clothes look nice, but then you snatch their pencil out of their hand. Like, what are you so mad about? I said that you look nice today, but you snatched my pencil. But you laughed at me during class. You did something mean even though you said something nice. Doesn't work that way. If you're going to be nice, you got to be nice. And when your parents tell you to leave something alone, leave it alone. Okay? I like this story. Kiss the Cow. By Phyllis Root, illustrated by Will Hillenbrand. I got it right 3 times. Very happy. All right, now, my friends, you know what it's time for, okay? You know what it is time for, okay? It is time for Who Stole New Year's Eve? So, okay. Hello, Miss Brandy. I'm so happy that you are on with us today. Tell the boys I said hello. Now, we are on chapter 14. Okay? We're in chapter 14. So, according to the story so far, so we have found out that there are some tips coming into the College Springs police department, right? Because Alex's mother, of course, is the lead detective because she's the only one. College Springs is a very small town in Pennsylvania. So there's been some tips about things that could explode, and they've been coming from a mysterious professor. Now, remember, Eve's father, okay, is a professor at the college near College Springs. And they're worried about his discovery that he's came up with called gasoline to replace gasoline. But there's one other ingredient that's needed. And the other professors are afraid that it could be volatile, meaning it could explode. So there's these tips coming in. And the people at the gas station, at the police station, think that it's a little crazy, okay? And the biggest development, my friends, is that not only was Eve's birthday ice sculpture stolen from in front of her house, but all 18 of the ice sculptures for the ice carnival in College Springs have gone missing. Ice sculptures that are between 250 and 1,000 pounds. All in one night, all gone, even though there were patrols. So, Alex's mother asked him and his other kid detective friends, Eve, who's joined in, she's the newbie, and Sophie, who has helped to detect before, has asked them to come down to the police station, ask some questions, because for kids, they've become pretty good detectives, right? So they talk to Eve's uncle. And in the background, there is a truck, like a fracking truck. And before he gets off the line, he turns on his faucet and something goes poof. And then everything goes offline. So we got to find out what that poof was about, what the truck was about, what the tips are about, and who stole 19 ice sculptures. One from off of Chickadee Court and the other ones from downtown College Springs. We got to find out. I got to find it all out. Okay. So we are in chapter 14. Hello, Caraway Rydell. There are people watching on other platforms. Thank you for being here. If you have children, I hope that they will enjoy our stories. Now, chapter 14 of Who Stole New Year's Eve by Martha Freeman. Sophie frantically tapped the keyboard, looked at the TV screen, and tapped some more. Miss Price, who had been annoyed ever since she gave up the remote, said, so much for the girl wonder of electronics. It wasn't me, Sophie insisted, and a new display appeared on the laptop, a bar graph with wavy lines. Sophie studied it for a second and announced, the link is fine at this end. Something must have happened at on Mr. Yoder's end. Is my uncle all right? Eve looked worried. I don't know, said Mom. Angie, get him on the landline. Please, I've got the number here. There was an old-fashioned phone in the middle of the table. Miss Price pulled it over and dialed. After a moment, she spoke into the receiver. Mr. Yoder? Angie Price at College Springs PD. We spring into action for you, calling on behalf of Detective Parakeet. Okay, I guess except for that problem with my knee. You didn't? Well, it started last week. I sit at a desk all day, you see, and Mom slapped her forehead, leaned across the table, and took the receiver from Mrs. Price. Mr. Yoder, Noreen Parakeet, what happened? Are you all right? Mom listened, nodded, and finally made a thumbs up sign. Eve breathed, and Sophie said, "Must not have been fatal." After Mom said goodbye, she explained that something had knocked a plug out of Mr. Yoder's computer. "Nothing to worry about," he said. "We were pretty much done with the interview anyway." "But what was that poof sound?" Sophie asked. "And did anybody else see a bright light?" "I thought I did," I said, "but it all happened so fast." "Some problem with the camera, I guess." Mom stood up. "Let's go back to my office, kids. We've got a few things to work out before we get on with the investigation. Angie, can you check on Izzy Glassy? He's really awfully late." As Sophie, Eve, and I went back to Mom's office, I was thinking a crazy thought. Maybe Izzy Glassy wasn't late. Maybe he had stolen the ice sculptures and now he's making his getaway. I hadn't worked out this whole idea yet, but with his job, Mr. Glassy did have the means to steal the sculptures, a truck, the equipment, people, and he had the opportunity. Nobody would think a thing about seeing him downtown in the middle of the night when Ice Carnival was going on. They would think he was just making sure everything was okay. The thing I didn't get was the motive. Why would he want to sabotage an event he was in charge of? Maybe it had something to do with the money the Ice Carnival owed to Mr. Yoder. By now, we were back in Mom's office. She was laying out her plan for more investigating. "Someone must have heard something last night," she said. "Almost no one lives downtown, but what about someone on Chickadee Court?" "Bub heard a vehicle," Sophie said, "but none of the rest of us heard anything." "I guess he doesn't know what kind of vehicle," Mom said. "And he didn't look out the window or notice the time?" "I don't think so, Detective Parakeet," Eve said. "I guess he didn't realize he might be an important witness." "What about Mr. Stone?" Mom asked. "I know he has trouble sleeping sometimes." "Or the Blancos. That dog of theirs must have woken up. Could I deputize you kids to go door to door on Chickadee Court and see what you can find out?" Sophie and Eve said sure and stood up to go. Meanwhile, I'd been thinking about my idea. The more I did, the more I thought Mr. Glassy was definitely our prime suspect. More important, if Mom was going to nab him, she needed to act fast. She should be calling the Highway Patrol, the FBI. If he'd gone north, he and the ice sculptures could be in Canada by now. Maybe she should call the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. "Mom," I was excited, "I think I might have figured something out." Mom used to think of me as a little kid with little kid ideas. She never took me seriously, but things have changed since I've solved those other mysteries. She pays attention. Now she sat back in her chair and looked me in the eye. "Okay, sweetie," she said, "shoot." But I never had a chance. I was just about to name our prime suspect, the one hot-footing it for the international border, when Mrs. Price did it for me. "Mr. Glassy here to see you, Detective," she yelled from the reception desk. "Can I send him back?" Chapter 15. Mr. Glassy is small for a grown-up man. He has a pointy nose and wire glasses. Today he was wearing plaid pants, nice shoes with tassels on them, and a black down vest over a long-sleeved turquoise polo shirt. He came into Mom's office, said hi, 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 hi to everyone, sat down in a chair, and then bounced back up and paced. I could see from Mom's expression she was going to say something sympathetic about the sculptures, but before she could, Sophie blurted, "So how come you haven't paid Eve's Uncle Jim in 2 years? He's a starving artist, you know." Mom, Eve, and I all said, "Sophie!" at various volumes. Sophie shrugged. There is no time for chit-chat. Mr. Glassy sat down and stood up again. It's no secret the carnival's finances are in a shambles. Without the support of all the downtown business owners and the city, it's very difficult for us to prosper. That woman, he means Mrs. Miggins, Sophie put in. We got that, Sophie, I said, has done a lot of damage. We don't have the money to do anything new. So people lose interest. So we lose money. So people lose more interest. Almost more than we need the sculptures back. We need an idea to get people excited about Ice Carnival, he said, and then added a cheap idea. Eve looked up. Where I used to live in California, then she looked down again and said, never mind. No, tell us, I said. But you're all sick of California, Eve said. You're right, Sophie said, but this is an emergency. We had a costume parade, Eve said, to celebrate the winter solstice. You know, December 21st. Only it was for pets. Everybody gathered at this park downtown with their pets in wild get-ups, like Hawaiian leis and hats and bows and sweaters. The littler pets rode in wagons. Birds and big lizards rode on people's shoulders. There was music, and then we paraded to City Hall. It was about a mile, so you could maybe do something like that. It's cheap and everything. When no one reacted for a few moments, Eve looked as if she wanted to sink through the floor. This is a feeling I know well. But then Mom said, people here are crazy about their pets. And Mr. Glassy said, we could charge an entry fee. And Sophie said, it's brilliant. And the best part is we can pull it together in an afternoon. Everybody looked at Sophie. We can. 2 words, Sophie nodded. Social media. She has a point, Mr. Glassy said. Besides, the main downtown streets are already closed, so traffic control is easy. If we start at the college gates, we can end over on the north side of campus by the stadium. Mom looked at me. Luau was going to love it. I looked at Mom as if she had just sprouted antlers. Luau was going to hate it. He's much too dignified for a pet parade. Marshmallow won first prize 2 years in a row in California, Eve said. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Okay. That you can put a lid on, Sophie said. We need prizes and refreshments and judges, Mr. Glassy said. And we need them by 6 o'clock. Looks like I know what I'll be doing this afternoon. Who says the parade is at 6? Mom asked. I do, said Mr. Glassy. Executive decision. What about the ice sculptures? Mom asked. That's crime. And crime is your department, right? He was moving around Mom's office like a whirlwind. Anyway, they were insured. Mom looked up and said, oh? Insurance is something I know about from other cases. It means you pay a little bit of money to a company. And then if something bad happens, like your house burns down or your ice sculptures get stolen, the company pays you a lot more money, enough to fix it. This might seem like a bad deal for the insurance company, but it isn't. Most of the time, fires and robberies don't happen, and they get to keep the money. Mr. Glassy dropped back into his chair. Don't look at me that way, he said to Mom. Well, to be honest, insurance does give you a motive for taking the sculptures, Mom said. They disappear, you get paid, the carnival's financial problems are fixed. Mr. Glassy raised himself to his full height and puffed out his chest. I have put my life into the carnival, he said, and I would never do anything to harm it. Now, Let that be my last word on the subject. If we're going to organize a pet parade by 6 o'clock, there's lots to do. Can you kids help out? No problem, Sophie said. And while you're at it, we'll solve the mystery too. It's only 1 o'clock. Eve looked at me. Is she being sarcastic? I shrugged. I can never tell. During the next few minutes, we worked out all the parade details. We would charge a $10 entry fee per pet, and there would be ribbons for the winners. I'll put an entry form on our website, Mr. Glassy said. You, he pointed at me, go over to the Middle Daily Times and tell the reporter, Tim Roberts, what's going on. You two, he pointed to Eve and Sophie, make a page for the social media sites. Also, ask your own friends and neighbors to participate. Mr. Glassy would not take no for an answer. So maybe Sophie was sarcastic, but she was also right. If her mom picked her and Eve up now, they could go home, get on the web, and interview the neighbors, all in an afternoon's work. Meanwhile, I was going to tell Tim Roberts about the parade, then walk around and look at the storefronts where the sculptures used to be. Maybe the thief had left a clue. Can you give me a ride home after that, Mom? Mom nodded. I've got a tipster to talk to and some paperwork to finish up. So the timing should work out about right. Meet me at my house at 1500 hours to plan our next move, Sophie said to Eve and me. Is that a deal? Eve looked confused. 1500 hours? What's that? Sophie rolled her eyes. 3 o'clock, duh. I see we still have some work to do to catch you up. We all walked out of Mom's office together. In the lobby, Mr. Glassy said, Thanks for the idea, Eve. I'm feeling a lot better about the carnival now. Oh, wait, Alex, before you go, I've been wondering one thing. Yeah, I said. Where's Yasmeen? There's that question again. Chapter 17. In College Springs, the newspaper office is on Main Street, next door to the police department. This is lucky if you happen to be one kid trying to do two things: organize a costume pet parade and figure out who stole 19 ice sculptures at the same time. Tim Roberts' desk is on the second floor in a sea of other desks, most of them empty. There used to be lots of reporters at the Middle Daily Times, but the paper doesn't make that much money anymore because, my dad explained to me, most people get news from TV or the web. So, visiting Tim Roberts at his office is a little like visiting a ghost town. Don't tell me you're here about the ice sculptures, Tim Roberts said when he saw me coming. Hi, Tim. Very nice to see you. What's going on? I always try to be polite, even when other people aren't. Busy, Tim said. I'm working on a 20-part series on hydraulic fracturing, also known as fracking. Did you see my piece in the paper today? My mom did. I remembered it on her desk. How'd she like it? Tim asked. I had no idea. I hadn't asked. She loved it, I said. Good. I'm hoping it will win some big award and be my ticket out of here. So, have you found out anything about the sculptures? I asked. Tim Roberts shook his head. I haven't even had time to look into it yet. There's something else too, I said, and I explained about the costume pet parade. Do you think you could put something up on the paper's website? Mr. Glassy would appreciate it. Tim said, why not? And swiveled around to face his computer monitor. While I gave him the details, he typed. Then he read what he'd written out loud so I could make sure he had facts. Punched his keyboard and announced, There, it's live. I hope it generates some interest. I'll go down and take some pictures later when the parade entries are assembling. We could use the art. Tim yawned, picked up his coffee mug, looked into it sadly, set it down again, then finished his sentence. For tomorrow's paper. I stood up to go. Cool, I said. Then I noticed that the design on his mug was the same as on the truck that pulled up behind Mr. Yoder's studio. A black cat with the words, Frady Brothers Fracturing. We scare up the gas. Hey, where'd you get that? I asked. To my surprise, Tim Roberts blushed. You're right. I shouldn't have taken it. Huh? What do you mean? In my defense, I had just dropped my old mug and broken it, so I really needed a new one, Tim said. When these guys offered, I said sure, even though reporters aren't supposed to take gifts from the people they interview. Oh, wow. Was that mug a bribe? I asked. I hope not, Tim Roberts said. The Frady brothers seem like good guys. What do they do? I asked. Tim said he'd explain it if I sat down a second. Since I was curious, I did. Tim leaned back in his chair. Okay, so underneath a lot of Pennsylvania and neighboring states is a kind of rock called shale that's porous. You know what that means? Full of holes, I said. Tim nodded. Tiny holes. But here's the thing about them. Trapped inside is gas, the kind that could be used for heat and electricity and other things. Now, up till recently, it was so hard to get the gas out of the holes, it wasn't worth it. But then engineers figured out a cheaper, simpler way to do it. They force water, sand, and chemicals into the rock to break it up. Fracture it, in other words. So that's where the word fracking comes from, I asked. Exactly, said Tim. Once the rock is broken up, the gas can be piped onto the surface and collected. I remembered the tanker truck outside Mr. Yoder's studio. So, is it gas in the tanks on the Frady Brothers trucks? Tim shook his head. In their trucks, it's probably dirty water and chemicals. The liquid that's been used for fracking, he said. The Frady brothers and other companies suck that liquid up and take it away. Otherwise, it might pollute clean water underground. Here, I'll show you something funny. Tim swiveled back to his computer, brought up a video clip, and pressed play. The scene was a normal-looking woman in a normal-looking kitchen. She turned on the tap in her sink, and water came out. I looked at Tim like, what's your point? But then something amazing happened. There was a poof, and all of a sudden, the water stopped being water and turned into a flame. We will end there, my friends. We will end there. Interesting. So, maybe that is what happened at Mr. Yoder's house. Some of that water got into the groundwater. He turned on the faucet, and then once all of that stuff hit the air, it just went poof and turned into flame. Well, so we had one suspect, and now that suspect's gone. Because Mr. Glassy came and he wasn't headed for the Canadian border running away with all the ice sculptures. He has no idea what happened to them. And again, Mrs. Miggins again is inside of one of these mysteries. She doesn't like the ice carnival. Who knows, maybe she has something to do with them going missing. Only person who heard a car was Bub. So now they have to go and ask people. But now they have a reason because there's a new pet costume carnival. Now we have to find out about Frady brothers fracturing and what they're doing or possibly not doing. Okay. A lot of mysteries. This is why I like Mrs. Freeman's books, as well as, I got to remember the author of Belly Up, his books too. There's always so many clues and things happening that you're like, who did it? How are the mysteries connected? Like, what's going on? Well, my friends, we will have to wait until our Marvelous Monday broadcast to find out what is going on and about the tipster. Because remember, they all had to leave while Alex's mom, Detective Parakeet, is going to talk to this mysterious tipster. Do they have something to say about the fracking truck? About the fracking? About the truck that sucks up the liquid that's left from the fracking? Does he have something to say about that? Because remember, he was saying, I'm afraid about things that could go kablooey. He might have something to say about the fracking or the truck, and the people who are supposed to suck up the liquid, maybe they're not sucking it up, and that's why he's afraid of things exploding. Maybe he's suspicious of Professor Henry, Eve's father, who's looking for something to improve his gasoline, which is going to replace gasoline. There's too many things, too many questions, not enough answers just yet. But probably by the end, in Martha Freeman form, we will find out everything we need to know. Well, my friends, it has been so great being here with you today on our fabulous FRI-YAY installment of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. I wish you a great and wonderful and restful and fun and happy weekend. If you go out, make sure that you are safe, keeping those hands clean, and making sure you are wearing a mask. And have a great weekend, friends. Until next time, I will see you. Oh, Miss Brandy, you're leaning towards the dad. See, I'm running out of time. You can't get me excited about a mystery story, okay? Well, until next time, my friends, thank you for being here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you right back here on our Marvelous Monday, right here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Until then, my friends,